हरे कृष्णा बच्चों, कैसे हैं आप। तो हम पढ़ रहे हैं कार्बन एंड कंपाउंड्स। सो जो कार्बन है ये दो स्टेट्स में पाया जाता है। एक होता है फ्री स्टेट, दूसरा है कंपाउंड स्टेट। फ्री स्टेट मतलब इट्स प्योर, कंपाउंड स्टेट इज मिक्स विद समथिंग। फ्री स्टेट में इसके तीन एग्जाम्पल्स हैं, डायमंड, ग्रेफाइट एंड फ्लोरीन। इन तीनों को एक्चुअली एक टर्म बोलते हैं जिसको बोलते हैं एलोट्रॉपी। एलोट्रॉपी बेसिकली दैट्स व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू स्टडी नेक्स्ट। बेसिकली इन तीनों का अगर आप देखेंगे फिजिकल प्रॉपर्टीज अलग है। डायमंड और कोल या ग्रेफाइट कंप्लीटली डिफरेंट फिजिकल प्रॉपर्टीज, बट इनका जो केमिकल प्रॉपर्टी है सेम। एंड सिमिलरली द कंपाउंड स्टेट, देयर आर कोल, चारकोल, कोक, कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड एंड मीथेन. So this is in short a carbon. So let's go much deeper and understand the allotropic forms of the carbon. So the phenomena of existence of an element in two or more forms which have different physical properties but identical chemical properties is called allotropy. This is what allotropy. जैसे यहाँ पर अगर आप देख रहे हैं डायमंड, ग्रेफाइट एंड फ्लोरीन, ये एलोट्रॉपी में आते हैं. क्या है इनका? दे हैव डिफरेंट फिजिकल प्रॉपर्टीज बट आइडेंटिकल केमिकल प्रॉपर्टी इनका सेम है. इसको बोलते हैं एलोट्रॉपी. एंड द डिफरेंट फॉर्म्स आर कॉल्ड एलोट्रॉपिक फॉर्म्स और सिंपली एलोट्रॉप्स. सो जो कार्बन है इट अकर्स इन थ्री क्रिस्टलाइन एमॉर्फिक फॉर्म्स और वी कैन से फ्री स्टेट फॉर्म. There are compound state also, but our main focus is today about the crystalline allotropic form. So they are diamond, graphite and fluorine. So all these three allotropes are the purest form of carbon. They have the same chemical properties. For example, when diamond, graphite, fluorine is burnt in air, तीनों को अगर आप जला देंगे हवा में, a colorless and odorless gas called carbon dioxide CO2 is formed, which turns lime water milky. मतलब इनका केमिकल जो प्रॉपर्टी है वो तीनों का सेम है. So the physical property of all three allotropes of carbon however differ due to the different arrangement of carbon atoms. तो ये फिजिकल जो चेंजेस हैं या फिजिकल इसका प्रॉपर्टीज डिफरेंट हो रही हैं, उसका रीज़न क्या है? उसका रीज़न बताया जाता है अरेंजमेंट ऑफ कार्बन एटम्स. जिस तरह से कार्बन एटम अरेंज होता है उस तरह से उनका फिजिकल प्रॉपर्टीज उनका बनता है. इसलिए उनका फिजिकल प्रॉपर्टी डिफर करता है क्योंकि इन सब का अरेंजमेंट कार्बन एटम्स का अलग अलग है. कार्बन डायमंड में एक अलग तरीके से उसका अरेंजमेंट है कार्बन एटम का, ग्रेफाइट में अलग अलग है, फ्लोरेंस में अलग है. सो लेट्स स्टार्ट विथ कार्बन फर्स्ट. Obviously, first occurrence बताया गया, it occurs in nature in South Africa, in Zaire, Australia, Russia, etc. In India also, if you knew, Kohinoor diamond was found in India, which is now was stolen and was taken to England. So there have been synthesized by subjecting pure carbon to high temperature. मतलब अगर आप देखो डायमंड को आप आर्टिफिशियली भी बना सकते हैं. आप प्योर कार्बन को हाई टेम्परेचर और प्रेशर देंगे 50,000 and 60,000 एटमॉस्फेयर और हाई टेम्परेचर 1873 केल्विन. दिस सिंथेटिक डायमंड्स आर स्मॉल इन साइज बट आर अदरवाइज इनडिस्टिंग्विशेबल फ्रॉम नेचुरल डायमंड. इसको आप फर्क नहीं कर पाएंगे कि नेचुरल डायमंड है कि आर्टिफिशियल डायमंड. यू वोंट बी एबल टू मेक इट अप. सिंथेसाइज्ड डायमंड्स आर आल्सो इन मार्केट. So now, as I was telling you about the Kohinoor, so this size of diamond जो है उसको मेजर किया जाता है बेटा कैरेट्स में. तो कैरेट मीन्स 1 कैरेट इज इक्वल टू 200 मिलीग्राम्स, ग्राम्स वेट बेसिकली. So the famous Kohinoor diamond which decorates the crown of England's queen at present weighs 108.93 carats. You can imagine कितना वेट होगा उसका. However, when it was taken from India to England, it weighed 181 carats. मतलब बहुत ज़्यादा था. To restore its brilliance and luster, about 40% of its weight was shed. मतलब उसको कटिंग किया, उसका लस्टर लाने के लिए 40% तो डायमंड उन्होंने काट ही दिया उसको. So this is about Kohinoor diamond. अभी जो हम मेन चीज़ पढ़ रहे हैं, why physical properties are different because of structure. So let's see the structure. So in diamond, each carbon atom is attached to 4 other carbon atoms. अगर आप देख रहे हैं ये 4 और कार्बन एटम को ज्वाइन करता है एक कार्बन एटम. So basically, and how it is, carbon atom is strongly single covalent bond which has 1.454 angstrom. ये यूनिट है उसका. इसको इवन पिकोमीटर से भी मेजर करते हैं. angstrom and picometer are the units to measure the length of the bonds. जैसे pm represents actually picometer. So the four surrounding atoms lie at the 4 vertical columns of the rectangular tetrahedral as shown is 4.7. ये आप एग्जाम देख सकते हैं. This is the figure. How it is. It has a degree. It's 1/28 degree. और इसका जो लेंथ है वो 154 पिकोमीटर है. और each carbon is joined by the 4 other carbon atoms, which you can see. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. And the angle between the 2 adjacent carbon atoms कितना है? 109 to 28. So which is also called tetrahedral angle. ये उसका angle भी बोला जाता है. So this tetrahedral angle of the carbon atom gives diamond as a rigid 3-dimensional network structure as shown in 4.7. यहाँ पे जो आपको B में दिखाया है. This is how this structure becomes. Strong bond exists between the carbon atoms. It arranges a tetrahedral in a diamond, rigid 3-dimensional network. इसलिए it brilliantly shines. Thus, a crystal of diamond is a giant molecule consisting of only carbon atoms. इसमें सिर्फ कार्बन एटम है. Natural state, pure state में है. And then obviously some physical property. It's the hardest substance which is found on Earth. The 3-dimensional network structure of the diamond makes it the hardest natural substance known. इसलिए अगर आप देखेंगे there are tools which are made from diamond to cut. Lot big metals or even diamond cutters are used as a tools. So high density due to network structure, the carbon atom is diamonds closely packed. Hence diamond density is 3.51 grams per centimeter cube. And high melting point, obviously इसका melting point भी high होगा. Needs to break network structure of diamond, therefore melting point of diamond is very high. It's around 3930 degrees centigrade or 4203 Kelvin. And electrical and thermal conductivity, since all the 4 valence electrons firmly held in the carbon single bond, there is no free electron. क्योंकि आपको मालूम है इलेक्ट्रिसिटी अगर कंडक्ट करना है there has to be free electrons. जैसे हम देखते हैं अगर NaCl को आप इलेक्ट्रिसिटी आप उसको कंडक्ट करेंगे, इट विल नेवर पास बिकॉज यू हैव टू हीट इट टिल 800 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड. उसको आपको आयन स्टेट में लेके जाना है जहाँ पे व्हेन इट फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन्स एग्जिस्ट, देन ओनली यू कैन पास इलेक्ट्रिसिटी इन इट. सिमिलरली बट इन डायमंड देयर इज नो फ्री सच इलेक्ट्रॉन्स, सो ऑब्वियसली देयरफॉर डायमंड इज द बैड कंडक्टर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिसिटी. However, it has a high thermal conductivity of known as substance about 5 times than the copper. Thermal conductivity is powerful in it. It can pass heat. So it is because of this reason that the diamond tipple tools do not overheat and hence are extensively used for drilling and cutting purposes. This is also very important. Thermal conductivity is really high thermal conductivity. So transparency, because of high refractive index, which is 2.5, diamond can reflect and refractive light. As a result, diamonds are transparent substances. Or obviously because of all these good lot of properties, it has a lot of uses. So because of hardness, diamond is used in cutting glasses, making bores for drilling rocks, and for making abrasives. So diamonds are used for making dyes, for the drying tin wires from metal. So when a diamond is cut or polished, brilliant light is refracted from its surface. That is why the diamonds are used for making the precious gems and jewelries. Shape edge diamonds are used as a tool by eye surgeons to remove cataract from eyes with a great precision. So this is all about diamond. So diamond's occurrence, and then the structure of diamond we studied. Then we saw the physical properties, and then uses. Now the next allotrope of the carbon which we are going to study is graphite. इसका occurrence is grayish black substance occurs naturally in China, South Korea, Russia, India also, mixed with mica, quartz and silica. It's also prepared artificially from carbon in an electric furnace. और टेम्परेचर देखो कितना हाई है, 2273 और 22773 केल्विन. हाउ इट इज मेड आर्टिफिशियली, लाइक अगर आप देखोगे डायमंड को भी इन्होंने सिंथेटिकली बना सकते हैं. कैसे? यू हैव टू गिव दिस मच प्रेशर एंड टेम्परेचर, but the pure carbon has to be there. Similarly, graphite can be also made artificially. This is the reaction, carbon with silica. You have to give temperature, such a high temperature which becomes silicon carbide, and then you have to again give a lot of temperature and then it becomes graphite. And the structure, obviously it has completely structure than diamond. That is the reason it's completely different substance altogether. Like diamond's hard, but the graphite is soft. We'll see the differences also. The structure of graphite is altogether different from that of diamond. A graphite crystal actually consists of a sheets of layers of carbon atoms. There are layers, ऐसा layers हैं इनमें structure. So each carbon atom in a graphite layer is bounded to 3 or other carbon in a same plane forming hexagonal ring. वहां पे टेट्राहेड्रल स्ट्रक्चर था, यहाँ पे कैसा हेक्सागोनल रिंग बना रहा है, देख रहे हैं आप, ऊपर हेक्सागोनल रिंग है. सो टू सेटिस्फाई द फोर्थ वैलेंसी ऑफ कार्बन, ईच हेक्सागोनल रिंग हैज 3 अल्टरनेटिव सिंगल एंड डबल बॉन्ड्स. Thus, unlike diamond, graphite has 2-dimensional sheets like layers structure consisting of number of benzene rings. Generally benzene ring आपने देखोगे, this is like benzene rings. So उसका ऐसा ही कुछ structure है hexagonal together. So the various sheets and layers are held together by weak van der Waals forces or the surface force of attraction. The distance between any two successive layers is 340 picometer, which is actually quite huge. इसलिए वो एक दूसरे के ऊपर स्लिप करता है. That is the reason it becomes a good conductor of electricity also. So this is structure, you can see it clearly. And then obviously physical property, it has low density due to the wide space, 340 picometer. जबकि अगर आप देखेंगे डायमंड में it was very less, it's just 154. और यहाँ पे अगर आप देखेंगे इसका it's like 340, more than double. तो इसलिए and between two layers, and इसका density is 3.51 grams per centimeter cube. डायमंड का और इसका ग्रेफाइट का अगर आप देखेंगे बहुत कम, 2.22 into gram per centimeter cube. Then softness, obviously अगर ये एक दूसरे को मतलब it's layer structure, and that also weak van der Waals forces are there, and that also their distance is quite large spacing, 340 picometer. That's when it becomes soft. So the wide layer of carbon atoms in graphite are held together by weak van der Waals forces of attraction. Therefore layer can easily slide over others. This makes graphite soft and hence used for dry solid lubricants for heavy machineries. And then electrical and thermal conductivity, we know that the carbon has 4 valence electrons, but in the graphite crystal each carbon atom is joined to 3 by covalent bonds to form hexagonal string. Thus 3 valence electrons are used for bond formation, hence the 4th valence electron remains free. Free electron मतलब क्या हो सकता है? Obviously it will become a good conductor of heat and electricity. Uses, due to this softness, powder graphite is used either in solid or dry lubricants or mixed with petroleum jelly as a graphite grease. Since graphite is a non-volatile, it can also be used for lubricants or heavy machinery operations at very high temperatures. And then graphite is soft and black in color, so makes paper black. Mixed with desired qualities of wax or clay, graphite is used for making the core of the lead pencil. जो आप lead pencil use करते हैं, that's also made from graphite. So being a good conductor of electricity, graphite is used for making electrodes for dry cells and electrical accessories. The carbon brushes of electric motors are also made of graphite. So this is comparison which is given. So obviously same, it has 3-dimensional network, it has 2-dimensional sheet like structure, it is hardest, so but it's not, it's soft, it's gray, greasy kind of thing which is used for as a lubricant for heavy machineries. It's a bad conductor of electricity but is very good conductor of heat because of its hardness, or well is a good conductor of both heat and electricity because of high electric conductivity. Graphite is used for electrodes of battery. आपने देखा होगा जब हम इलेक्ट्रोलिसिस पढ़ते हैं वहाँ पे जो यूज़ करते हैं हम इलेक्ट्रोड्स, दे आर एक्चुअली मेड फ्रॉम ग्रेफाइट्स. So it's transparent substance, highly refractory, therefore it is used for making gemstones. It's opaque, grayish substance. Chemical diamond is extremely unreactive, while as graphite is reactive. So these are the difference between these two. And then comes the third allotrope, which is fluorines. Fluorine is a new class of carbon allotrope. So they are spheroidal in shape. जैसे अगर आप देखो ना फुटबॉल आप देखते हैं, it's like that shape, and contains even number of carbon atoms ranging from 60 to 350 or above. So this C60 fluorine is most stable and was first to be identified. It contains 60 carbon atoms which are arranged in the shape of football. जैसे मैं आपको बता रहा था, this is like shape, फुटबॉल की shape में इसको arrange किया गया है. It contains 26 membered ring and 12 5 member rings. कितना है? 20 और 12. तो 20 and 12 5 member ring. तो 20 कितना है? 26 member ring है and 12 5 member ring है. 5 member ring मतलब देखिए जो ये एग्जाम बॉल देख रहे हैं, दिस इज लाइक 6. तो ऐसा जो 6 है वो 20 है, और जो ये 5 है, सी हियर इट्स 5. दिस 5 इज हाउ मेनी? दे आर टोटल 5 member rings आर टोटल. So basically 12 5 member rings are there. So that's all. So 26 member rings and 12 5 member rings. So please note that the 6 member rings are fused to both 6 members, and 5 member rings are fused and 5 member rings, but 5 member rings are fused only to 6 member rings. Now you can see it clearly from here. See ये 5 member ring है, ये किसके साथ फ्यूज है? 6 member ring के साथ. अगर आप देखेंगे ये देखो, ये 6 member ring के साथ फ्यूज है, देख रहे हैं? ये देखो, ये कंप्लीटली 6 member ring के साथ ही फ्यूज है, मतलब इट्स कंप्लीटली कनेक्टेड विद 6 member rings. दैट्स द रीजन जो ये 6 member ring है, दे आर मोर, दे आर 20 in number, while as 5 member rings are just 12. And further, because these allotropes look like dome-shaped hall designed by US architect Buckminster Fuller, they are also called Buckminster fluorines or simply fluorines. So this is how the structure looks like. Obviously, physical properties are Buckminster fluorines is dark, solid at room temperature, unlike diamond and graphite, which are gate molecules containing thousands and thousands of carbon atoms. C60 fluorines is very small molecule, contains only 60 carbon atoms. This is its advantage. So another physical property in which three allotropes differ from one another is their hardness. Whereas diamond is extremely hard, graphite is soft. And Buckminster fluorines, on the other hand, is neither very hard nor very soft. So this is all about the allotropes of carbon. Obviously, your homework is to write detailed notes on all of these allotropes, and you write their physical property, their uses, and also diagrams. Now we'll move to the next section, which is about the versatile nature of carbon. Why it's so versatile? Why it is found in everywhere? Because it has very nice property of catenation that we are going to study today. So we have seen in the beginning of this chapter that there are many things in our daily day-to-day life are made up of carbon compounds. In fact, we ourselves are made up of carbon compounds. हमको भी मालूम, the number of carbon compounds known today is approximately 3 million. It's huge. So this number far exceeds the total number of compounds formed by any other elements. So therefore, we actually start to study the carbon compound. We must understand why carbon forms so many compounds. आखिर reason क्या है इसका? इसके basically 4 reason है. The 4 main reasons for this are discussed. First reason is इसका catenation. Catenation क्या होता है? The main reason as to why carbon forms a large number of organic compounds is that the carbon can combine with other carbon atom to form straight branch chain of varying length or ring of different size as given below. So this catenation is carbon can combine with other carbon atoms, making a straight chain, branch, any type of structure it can create and just form the bond. So that is catenation property, making bonds with other carbon atoms. It can be ring form, it can be chain form, it can be straight line form. So this property makes it so versatile. So this unique property of self-linking of carbon atom through covalent bonds to form long straight or branch chain or ring of different size is called a catenation. दिस इज द डिफिनेशन ऑफ कैटेनेशन. क्या कैटेनेशन लगेंगे? दिस यूनिक प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ सेल्फ लिंकिंग of carbon atom through covalent bonds to form a long straight or branch chain and rings of different size is called catenation. So the properties of catenation is probably due to small size, unique electronic configuration and great strength of carbon bonds. लाइक आप बोलेंगे वाई कैटेनेशन, ये क्यों करता है? इसके तीन मेन रीजन बताए गए. एक तो इसका स्मॉल साइज, यूनिक इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कॉन्फ़िगरेशन एंड ग्रेट स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ कार्बन बॉन्ड. सो नाउ बोथ कार्बन एंड सिलिकॉन हैव सिमिलर वैलेंसी. अगर आप देखेंगे उसका 14 है, इसका अपना कार्बन का 6 है, तो उसका 2 4 है, उसका 2 8 4 है. तो अगर आप देखेंगे दोनों का ऑलमोस्ट सेम है इलेक्ट्रॉनिक आउटर मोस्ट शेल में, इनका जो वैलेंस शेल है 4 electrons in the valence shell, but carbon shows catenation to much greater extent than silicon. For example, carbon forms compound with hydrogen in which hundreds of carbon atoms can join together. These compounds of carbon and hydrogen called hydrocarbons and are very stable. So on other hand, silicon also forms compounds with hydrogen which contain chains up to 7 or 8 silicon atoms only. Can you imagine? This is just 7 or 8 silicon atoms they can join, whereas hundreds of carbon atoms can join hydrogen there. So these compounds of silicon and hydrogen are called silicanes. However, very reactive. The main reason for much greater extent of catenation of carbon over silicon is carbon-carbon bond are much more stronger. Like it is 355 kilojoules per mole. Than silicon to silicon, which is only 200 kilojoules per mole bond stronger. So carbon has much more ability to make a strong bonds with each other. That is the reason it creates such a long chain, or it can make ring structure, basically catenation. So from the above discussion, we conclude that the maximum tendency of carbon for catenation, which is responsible for existence of a large number of carbon compounds. This is the first reason. First reason क्या है इसका? Catenation. वर्सटाइल नेचर, कैटेनेशन. दिस इज द फर्स्ट रीजन वाई. एंड वाई कैटेनेशन वो हमने भी देखा, 3 रीजन है उसका. स्मॉल साइज, यूनिक इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कॉन्फ़िगरेशन, ग्रेट स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ कार्बन टू कार्बन बॉन्ड. फिर आप बोलेंगे अरे सर आप बोले यूनिक इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कॉन्फ़िगरेशन तो सिलिकॉन का भी है, लेकिन नहीं, सिलिकॉन नहीं बना पाता है उतने बॉन्ड्स. ओनली कार्बन कैन मेक, बिकॉज ऑफ वाई? स्ट्रॉन्ग कार्बन टू कार्बन बॉन्ड. दिस इज द रीजन वाई वी सॉ इट. सो नाउ द सेकंड रीजन इज टेट्रा कोवेलेंसी ऑफ कार्बन. सो कार्बन हैज अ वैलेंसी ऑफ 4. Therefore, it is capable of bonding 4 other atoms of carbon or atoms of some other monovalent elements. Further, due to the small size, the nucleus of carbon atom can hold its shear pair of electrons strongly. Because क्योंकि इसका साइज स्मॉल है, तो obviously जो न्यूक्लियस ऑफ कार्बन एटम कैन होल्ड इट्स शेयर, जो क्योंकि स्मॉल साइज की वजह से जो इसका न्यूक्लियस है उसका अट्रैक्शन सेम रहेगा जो एटम इसके साथ जुड़ेगा भी, क्योंकि डिस्टेंस बिटवीन न्यूक्लियस एंड द बॉन्ड विच इज शेयरिंग विद अदर एटम विल बी नॉट लॉन्ग और इट विल बी स्मॉल, सो इट कैन अट्रैक्ट इट कैन उसको अपनी तरफ खींच के रखेगा वो. So as a result, the bond that carbon forms with the most of the other elements like hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, chlorine, etc. are very strong, thereby making those compounds exceptionally stable. So this further increases the number of carbon compounds. This is also one reason. Tetracovalency of carbon. Then tendency to form multiple bonds. Due to small size, carbon also forms multiple double, triple bond with the carbon atoms, oxygen, sulfur and nitrogen. So this multiplicity of carbon to carbon, carbon to oxygen, carbon to nitrogen bond further increases the number of carbon compounds. And isomerism, another reason for huge number of carbon compounds, the phenomenon of isomerism. Isomerism is defined. Let's see what isomerism is. Because you have to understand this concept also. If a given molecule formula represents 2 or more structures having different properties, the phenomena is called isomerism, and different structures are called isomers. In short terms, if I put in the short terms, basically what isomerism is, basically its simple definition is, if a given molecule, अगर आपको कोई molecule दिया है which represents 2 or more structures having different properties, मतलब आपको एक ही मॉलिक्यूल दिया है फॉर्मूला, बट इट कैन 2 or 3 डिफरेंट स्ट्रक्चर विद डिफरेंट प्रॉपर्टीज, उस फिनोमेना को आइसोमेरिज्म बोलते हैं. लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल क्या है, एग्जांपल लेके यू विल लर्न लेटर इन दिस चैप्टर. लाइक फॉर्मूला आप लेंगे C4H10 रिप्रेजेंट्स 2 स्ट्रक्चर्स. द फॉर्मूला क्या है, C5H12. So represent 3 structure formula, C6H14 represents 5 structure. So the number of different structure with the same molecule formula further increases as the number of carbon atoms increases. So basically this is how the isomerism come in the picture. Basically given formula दिया है, उसको आप 2 या 3 more structure having different properties आप बना सकते हैं, उसको isomerism बोलते हैं. Then the next point is about, we have heard so much about organic compounds. What exactly is organic compounds? Can we make these organic compounds in laboratory? Obviously till some date tak it was think like it's impossible to make organic compounds, but later it was also proven false, but some organic compounds were produced in laboratory. So let's see how that was done. So since ancient time, mineral, plants and animals are all three major sources of natural occurring substance. But it was only the 18th century these compounds were divided into two, namely organic and inorganic. Compounds like urea, sugar, oil, fat, dyes, vitamins all isolate directly and indirectly from living organisms such as animal and plant are called organic compounds. And the branch of chemistry which dealt with the study of these compounds called organic. Basically organic समझ रहे हैं ना, जो direct आपको कहीं living organism से मिला है. On the other hand, the compounds like common salt, marble, alum, potassium, nitrate, copper, all these salts, zinc, rock, all these are called inorganic compounds. And the branch which deals with this study are called compound inorganic chemistry. Vital force theory, पहले ये exist करता था पहले. Obviously it was not, then after studying it was not, it did not hold that much importance. क्योंकि until 19th century it was believed that the organic compounds cannot be prepared in the laboratory. उसको नहीं बना सकते आप, but can only be isolated from animals and plants. On the basis of belief, Berzelius, a leading Swedish chemist in 1815, proposed vital force theory. उसने क्या बोला? According to this theory, organic compounds are produced only under the influence of some mysterious force existing in the living organism. This mysterious force is called vital force. मतलब उसने बोला ये जो ऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड है इसको हम लेबोरेटरी में बना ही नहीं सकते, कुछ तो मिस्टीरियस फोर्स है जो एग्जिस्ट करता है लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म, इसलिए हमको ये ऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड मिल रहा है. सिंस सच ए मिस्टीरियस फोर्स कैनॉट बी क्रिएटेड आर्टिफिशियली, इट इज इम्पॉसिबल टू सिंथेसाइज, मतलब बनाना ऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड्स इन लेबोरेटरी. लेकिन इट वाज प्रूवन रॉन्ग. फिर आए वूलर्स सिंथेसिस. इन 1828 Frederick Wöhler, a German chemist, made a interesting discovery. He accidentally prepared urea, a well-known organic compound isolated from the urine of a man and other mammals. He prepared urea by heating an aqueous solution of two inorganic compounds. मतलब दो inorganic compound से उसने एक organic compound बनाया. Ammonium chloride and potassium cyanide लिया. Double displacement reaction took place and another inorganic compound, ammonium cyanide, was formed. Ammonium cyanide, being unstable on further heating, underwent rearrangement to form a well-known organic compound, urea. This was a breakthrough discovery. पहली बार ऐसा हुआ था कि अरे नहीं, ये कुछ vital force कुछ नहीं है. We can actually make organic compounds in laboratory. So this is the reaction how ammonium chloride he reacts with potassium cyanide. Double displacement reaction took place. You find ammonium cyanide, and this ammonium cyanide further heating rearranges itself and it gives you urea, which is organic compound. अभी इसने किया क्या था? दो inorganic compounds से इसने organic compound create किया. That was the breakthrough in the discovery. So this synthesis gave a death blow to the vital force theory and clearly demonstrated that no mystery force was required to formation of organic compounds in the laboratory. Thus the first organic compound synthesized in the laboratory was urea. So since then a large number of organic compounds have been prepared in the laboratory and many more are being prepared daily. So this is now the modern definition of organic then changed. अभी तक अब ऑर्गेनिक डिफिनीशन क्या था? जो आपको प्लांट से मिल रहा है, एनिमल से मिल रहा है, वो ऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड हो गया. जो हमको यहाँ से मिनरल से मिल रहा है, यहाँ से रॉक से मिल रहा है, अभी उसका फिर डिफिनीशन ही चेंज हो गया, ऑर्गेनिक इनऑर्गेनिक. सो विद द डाउनफॉल ऑफ वाइटल फोर्स द टर्म ऑर्गेनिक pertaining to life lost its original meaning. However, it was shown that the all organic compounds, whether natural or synthetic, always contained carbon and hydrogen and sometimes a few other elements such as oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, halogens and phosphorus. Thus organic compounds are now defined as compounds of carbon अभी आ गया, containing usually hydrogen and one or more other elements such as oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur and halogens, phosphorus. are called organic compounds. And the branch of chemistry which deals with the study of organic compounds is organic chemistry. Obviously this remains same. Organic chemistry का definition same रहा, but organic compound का definition change हो गया. Now it is compound of organic compounds of carbon containing usually hydrogen and one or more other elements such as these things. But certain carbon compounds such as oxides of carbon, carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide, carbonates, bicarbonates, cyanides are not called organic compounds and hence are still studied under inorganic compounds. This is some exceptional here. So further organic compounds of carbon and hydrogen are called hydrocarbons. क्यों? क्योंकि उसमें carbon और hydrogen. And all other organic compounds may be regarded to have been derived from them by replacing one or more of their hydrogen atoms by other atom or the groups. Therefore, organic chemistry may more precisely be defined as the chemistry of hydrocarbons and their derivatives. So this is how now the chemistry has given its new definition to the organic chemistry. So just recap, today we actually covered a lot of topics. Obviously carbon comes in free state and compound state, and then we are free state diamond, graphite and fluorine, and they are all known as allotropes because they have same chemical properties while they have physical completely different. And why they have physical different property? Because of structure, because of arrangement of carbon atoms. And then we study because of their arrangement, their physical property differ and their uses differ. Graphite, we saw how they have hexagonal structure, ring structures, and their property. And then fluorine, finally we saw the difference between this and then fluorine, which is the third allotrope of carbon, and how it's small, it's only 60 carbon atoms, and how there are 26 member rings and 12 5-member rings, and how it is all structure is there. And then versatile nature of carbon, why carbon is so versatile. So we saw catenation, one of the reason. And then why catenation? Because of small size, unique electron configuration and great strength of carbon to carbon bonds. And then tetracovalency compounds, tendency to form multiple bonds, and isomerism. And then we saw the definition of organic compound, why first there was a theory of vital force theory, obviously then it changed to Wöhler's synthesis, how we created urea by combining two inorganic compounds. And then how the modern definition of organic compounds is there. So please make a detailed notes of all these things. Don't miss anything, because everything is very important. Everything, if you can pause videos and just write down everything, if you can understand, if you write down your own words, that's also better. I don't mind, but please make sure you write detailed notes of all these lectures. And the code for this lecture is #Chaitanya. So this is the homework code for this video lecture. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Vande Mataram, Bharat Mata ki Jai.